please come to order, and will the clerk please call the roll?
Anderson?
Present.
Oliver's absent. Ford?
Here.
Hager-Smith?
Here.
Mattingly? Here. Sutphin?
Here.
Watson?
Present.
I want to begin this evening's meeting with a bit of welcome news and a welcome for our new police chief, John Clare. And I want to say a little bit about him, and then I'm going to invite him up just to make sure we can embarrass him while he's in chambers tonight to say a few words to us. Chief Clare most recently served as chief of police in Marion, Virginia, where he led a comprehensive department transformation overseeing a $2.1 million budget and a team of 22 sworn officers. Under his leadership, Marion saw a 35% reduction in overall crime. The launch of community engagement programs focusing on local and regional media, area youth, and vulnerable populations, and he also implemented significant advancements in officer wellness and career development programs during his tenure. Prior to his service in Marion, Clare served as chief of police in Quantico, Virginia, where he was instrumental in restoring organizational integrity and launching a new public safety, public safety initiatives. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Religion, Philosophy, and Humanities, and recently completed a master's degree in Executive Leadership. He is currently attending the UVA Sorensen Political Leaders Program, and he's a graduate of the Virginia Rural Center's Leadership Institute. So I just wanted to express council's great pleasure that he is our new police chief, and I'll give him a few minutes at the mic. While he's walking up here, I also just found out that he reads at least 60 books a year, so.
Right. So that's my replacement for being intelligent, right, is being well. No, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your selection of me as the chief of police. Incredible opportunity to come to this community. I appreciate the confidence that you place in Mark and Mark's placed in me, and I'm excited to get into the agency, get into the community, and make some impacts. It's going to take me a while to get to know everybody, but I've already got a great introduction to the department itself, and it seems like it's full of just incredible people, and the town of Blacksburg is, it strikes me as a community really on the upswing, and I'm excited to get on board. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We will move on now to the consent agenda, and that consists of the approval of town council minutes for May 20 and 27. Resolution 6C25, a resolution writing off the town's uncollectible water, sewer, refuse service, and stormwater receivables and real estate taxes. Resolution 6D25, transferring $370,000 between water and sewer fund capital projects, and a change order to a Blacksburg Transit contract extension. What is council's pleasure on this consent agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ford?
Aye.
Hager-Smith?
Aye.
Mattingly?
Aye.
Sutphin?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Public hearings. We have an ordinance 2089 to amend the fiscal year 2024-25 operating budget to accept and appropriate $2,397,000 in Virginia Department of Transportation revenue sharing funds to the VDOT revenue sharing fund. And we have a presentation on that.
Matt Hanratty will give the staff report.
Good evening, Council. As the Mayor just stated, it's basically accepting and appropriating VDOT revenue sharing funds and placing them in our VDOT revenue sharing account here locally. This $2.4 million is the last gap we need for the Harding Avenue project, so we can move forward with construction as we've discussed at your work session. And just as a reminder, up on the screen is kind of what the Harding Ave project is all about. Basically almost 4,000 linear feet of sidewalk, bike lanes, stormwater, really from the corporate limit on the east side of town all the way down Harding past Patrick Henry Drive. That's where you'll see, the bulk of the improvements when we talk about the Harding Ave project. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions council may have.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment at this time? Wait, do we need a motion first, don't we?
Public comment first.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on ordinance 2089? Seeing no one, what is council's pleasure on ordinance 2089?
I move approval of ordinance 2089.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Now, do we have any discussion? No? Okay. Will the clerk then please call the roll?
Hager-Smith,
Aye.
Mattingly,
Aye.
Sutphen,
Aye.
Watson,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Ford.
Aye.
This is the time in every regular meeting where we entertain citizen comments, and I would like to hear from anybody who'd like to come forward, speak on whatever topic you'd like, and you have 3 minutes that will be timed, and you should begin with your name and address, please.
Mark Chewbacca, 817 Montgomery Street. I'm here to speak about the 801 North Main Amendment that you guys will consider in 2 weeks. I recognize that this amendment may make some of the metrics and features look good on paper, may make the development seem better, but I think most of the most egregious parts of this development get worse with this amendment, not better. And I think that those parts also line up with the things that the citizens that spoke to you publicly and letters and things that were sent in would probably line up with. So here are the 3 reasons that I would like to share with you. One is the increased parking. I encourage you not to look at things like number of bedrooms per acre, but look at the absolute parking. So I know you guys have been debating whether or not 1.1, which is what your current standard is an appropriate standard, and that's fine. I don't know what the appropriate standard is. I do know, I think that 0.5 would be way too low. So if the standard is somewhere between 0.8 and 1.1, the current development is going to create an overflow of between 228 and 456 cars that are going to have to be absorbed somewhere in town. The most likely places, public streets in Cambridge, in Bennett Hill Progress, businesses, other apartment complexes around that area. I think this problem is just going to get worse. The second will be the aesthetics. I think they're going to get worse. You're going to bring that 0-foot setback. Your current commercial zoning allows for, I believe it's 10 feet of requires 10 feet of setback. So you're bringing that 0-foot setback even closer to Main Street, which isn't even approved for your commercial developments. So I think there needs to be a really good reason to do that besides just that the building looks prettier or, hey, it fills in this little notch. I mean, if that notch was so bad to begin with, you probably shouldn't have approved the thing to begin with. And then the third thing is traffic, obviously. Aside from, more people living there, more cars coming and going, I think we also severely hamper our ability to put a traffic circle there, which, I mean, one of the huge successes I think that we've had in many years is having those traffic circles both on campus and in town. So for those 3 reasons, and I think also because it's, what the citizens have clearly expressed, I encourage you to deny this amendment when it comes before you. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak under public comment? Mark, can I just ask you one question? Your T-shirt reads, "Street parking is theft." And I think that's related to the comments you just made.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. Could you just take let's have 1 more minute. Yeah. I think streets are made for multiple uses,
Sure.
including pedestrians.
Yeah, the
and
first time I
bikes.
saw this T-shirt, I thought it was outrageous because I always use street parking, and so how is it possible that I was stealing something, right?
Yeah.
But I think, I first saw it, a friend of mine in New York City, and I think the idea is that when localities start providing street parking, especially in more urban areas, then really you're kind of taking on a role where you're using that land for something that it could be better used in a different way. So like I know in New York, they've started taking out street parking and putting in separated bike lanes, right? I saw the thing that you guys were talking about with bike. I mean, a lot of people that I know, I biked over here today. A lot of people that bike around here know that our biking infrastructure here is woefully inadequate. And if you want to make it better, one of the things you could do is you could take away street parking and put in bike lanes. But when you have developments like this that come in, I think, and there is a shortage, and I think that's one of the things that maybe I would say you guys didn't wrestle with enough on this one is, what is that shortage really? Maybe 1.1 is too much. Is it 0.95? Is it 0.9? Do we have studies that show that? Right? Those extra parking spaces those extra cars are going to have to go somewhere. And I've lived here for 25 years. We've all seen, there's been a lot of residential parking in downtown. I used to be able to drive to downtown and find any place to park. And I know that this is something we've been, we have the committee and we've been struggling with that. Part of it is because we're basically giving free parking to developers to, develop, their residential buildings and not have to provide the adequate number of spaces. So that's, in a nutshell.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Thank you. Okay, going once again, any more public comment? Twice, 3 times. Okay, we will move on now to appointments. I want to announce those that we are making this June. Most appointments that we make for town committees are for 4-year terms, and they begin with our fiscal year on July 1. And so the lineup that we have for this year, not entirely complete, but very close. Mel Jones has agreed to, under difficult circumstances, has nonetheless agreed to be reappointed to the Blacksburg Planning Commission. Meredith Jones and Jordan Truesdell for the Board of Building Code Appeals. Jesse Dubrowski will be a new member of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Sally Pfeiffer and Charles Shade are being appointed to the Corridor Advisory Committee. Gary Buss, Kristen Washko, Lauren Webb, and Catherine Thompson will join the Historic or Design Review Board. Charlie Brower and Jason Hardy will re-up on the Public Arts Committee. Matt Hanratty is our staff liaison to Onward New River Valley. Stephen Cole and Mike Kendrick, Jen Lawley, Thomas Schiff, and J.P. Gannon will join the Recreation Advisory Board. William Baldwin will join Housing and Community Development Advisory Board, as will Rachel Knapp, and also Brandy Faulkner will remain. I believe she's chair, is she not, Susan?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, of the Housing Board. And if it isn't perfectly obvious, I will just underscore the fact that we really rely on citizen talent, on the hours of time that citizens are willing to spend on our advisory committees. Their opinions are important to us, and they have a very real opportunity to shape policy when they join us in this committee work. So committees are not very popular with a lot of people. Few people raise their hands, but it's important work that takes place there, and we appreciate them. What do we got now? Unfinished business.
I need to make a motion on
Oh,
that.
yes, we got to vote on those. Okay, got a motion?
I move approval of the 2025 board and committee appointments.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mattingly.
Aye.
Sutphen.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Ford.
Aye.
Hagersmith.
Aye. Unfinished business. New business. No. Council announcements.
I have one announcement. The 4th of July parade is on, believe it or not, the 4th of July, next Friday at 2 p.m. The lineup for those who are participating is at 1:30. The theme for this year is We the People. So I hope everyone can make it out and see the 4th of July parade.
And the regular fireworks will be that night, right?
Correct. Yep.
And I'll just quickly remind people that the Friday night outdoor concerts are in full swing. Remember, that starts 6 to 7:30 on Henderson Lawn. This upcoming Friday is Cinematheque Exotica Surf Rock World Fusion. So it sounds pretty fun. There are also Thursday night indoor concerts. There are classic movies at the Lyric. There's a Shakespeare workshop going on June 26th. There's just millions of things happening. And so please check out the Downtown Blacksburg Inc. website or the summer series, art series website, and just come out to all these wonderful things.
I would like to also remind people that the annual Giving Day for the Community Foundation of the New River Valley is Wednesday. You can give before that and you can give after that. But there are a lot of perks and benefits and incentives that really help our local not-for-profits do a lot of heavy lifting to improve the quality of life throughout the New River Valley. So I encourage you to give and give generously.
Thank you. If there are no other council announcements, we are adjourned.